Hi, welcome to History Doodles. My name is Mitch, and this is a show where I break down history's biggest topics into little tiny doodles. Today we're going to be talking about ancient Sumer, which is history's oldest known civilization. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, almost 8,000 years ago, people started to settle this land called Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is the land between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers. It's current day southern Iraq. It's a big, muddy, marshy plain that's great for growing crops and gives a ton of land for people to spread out, grow what they need to, and start to build proto-civilizations. So, about 3700 BC, a new group arrives to this area, and they're known to history as the Sumerians. The Sumerians, their origin myth about themselves says that they came from another place in the east and had to flee a great flood, which wiped out their original cities and their crops. There's some parallels there to the story of Noah's Ark in the Hebrew Bible, and there's a ton of things in Sumerian mythology that have some crossover with the Hebrew Bible, leading a lot of historians and archaeologists to connect the two. But once this group shows up, they start coming up with all these advancements in technology and culture that really propel forward this area to be what's such an important part of history today. So the historian Samuel Noah Kramer iterates over these advancements, saying, "They devised such useful tools, skills, and techniques as the potter's wheel, the wagon wheel, the plow, the sailboat, the arch, the vault, the dome, casting in copper and bronze, riveting, brazing and soldering, sculpture in stone, engraving, and inlay. They originated a system of writing on clay, which was borrowed and used all over the Near East for some 2,000 years. So they came up with all these amazing inventions, and they started to build these impressive city-states along Mesopotamia. Each city-state had a big monument called a ziggurat, which was like kind of a pyramid that was very, very tall that you could see from miles in any direction. And these city-states would go to war with each other sometimes using all these advancements in technology that they made. Sometimes they would trade with each other, demand tribute from each other. And, for the next couple hundred years, different city-states would be the most powerful, and then they would fall, and then other city-states would replace them. This is called the Uruk period in Sumerian history. And one important figure from the time is a guy named Gilgamesh, who was at one point the king of a town called Uruk. Gilgamesh seems to have been a real person. He's included in the Sumerian king list, which they documented all of their kings. But a lot of what we know about him comes from this book called the Epic of Gilgamesh. I guess it's a poem. But anyway, it was written much later, but describes Gilgamesh as 2/3 God, 1/3 man, and goes over all these adventures that he has with his buddy, and is one of the oldest stories in human history. So anyway, this period continues until a guy named Lugal-Zarghezi, which is a mouthful, shows up. And he's from a town called Umma, and he takes his military and consolidates all of these city-states under one rule. He says that he defeated all the kings, 32 of them, from the lower sea, which is the Persian Gulf, up to the upper sea, which is the Mediterranean Sea, and defeated everyone and brought all of these city-states under his control and his dynasty. One of these 32 kings that Lugal-Zarghezi killed was a guy named Ur-Zababa. And Ur-Zababa was the king of Kish at the time. So Ur-Zababa had a cupbearer, which is like a royal position, kind of like a right-hand man, named Sargon. Sargon was a young man at the time and didn't love that his king was killed. So Sargon organized people in the town and went through one of the greatest parlays in history, gathered all of his friends, decided his plan was, I'm going to go sneak attack Lugal-Zarghezi's capital named Uruk. I'm going to become the king of that place, and then I'm going to kill Lugal-Zarghezi when he shows up to defeat me. Against all odds, him and his friends managed to do just that. They snuck into Uruk at night. They managed to take the city, and when Lugal-Zarghezi gathered 15 other kings to counterattack, Sargon managed to defeat them all. History's light on the details on how that war occurred, but what did happen for sure is that the Akkadian Empire, which is the result because Sargon was from the Akkadian ethnic group and established the Akkadian Empire and dynasty, took control over Mesopotamia and pushed the control up north into modern day Turkey and down the Arabian coast. Their dynasty would last for a few hundred years and a few generations, and eventually would kind of fall under disarray under bad management and be taken over by a group from the north called the Gudians. The Gudians were even worse at managing the empire, and things kind of fell under disarray in the region until the Babylonians took it over in 1900 BC. So this is like the basic building blocks of civilization in Mesopotamia. And this land would be extremely important for many empires to come. It would be involved in and critical to the Assyrian Empire, the Achaemenid Persian Empire, and eventually the Macedonian Empire. And that's about it that I have for today. Next time I'm going to be talking about another civilization down the Nile River, and I'll go over it then. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.